I think age and weight are really important. You see all the top guys are small, and I think when you're trying to go fast, lightweight and out of the wind is always better. You can always go faster if you're not carrying a big load. And then age, historically it seems like everybody was, the better drivers were the older guys and the more experience you had, but anymore, the way the race bikes are designed and the way speed carries, it seems like there's more and more younger drivers. I think it's really exciting. You see guys in their 20s winning a lot of races everywhere. Top drivers, physically wise, they're really quick on their feet. You got to be able to make a split decision. A race is 2 minutes long, and you can cost yourself a win at any point in the mile. So you got to be able to make the right moves and at the right time. And also, you got to be strong enough. Your horse weighs 1,000 pounds and you weigh 150, so you got to be able to keep him in control and be able to hang on to him, even if you got one that's a little rank or a little steppy. And then you got to be light in their mouth at the same time while you're in control. And that's, a really good driver. I don't think that's something you can learn. You got to just naturally be able to have that horsemanship and that sense about a horse's mouth and just keep them forward and keep them going competitively. Leaning back is definitely an advantage. They didn't do that at all 10 or 20 years ago, and now you see all the top drivers are leaned back. They got their shoulder and their head out of the wind, and just that much less drag. You got the bit up in a horse's mouth, and I think it keeps the horse feeling confident. It keeps you from just costing yourself any little inch that you could from the wind, and that's part of the reason why horses go so much faster today. A driver, unlike a jockey, doesn't have agents, so you're kind of on your own. You got to just be friendly in the paddock and talk to people, and when you start winning races, it snowballs from there. You'll have more and more drives. And then sometimes when you're listed on 2 or 3 in the same race, it's as a driver, it's your job to win races, so you got to take the horse that gives you the best shot to win. But at the same time, it seems like everybody's got a main stable or a couple main stables, and if 2 horses are about the same or one's a little better, you'll stick with your main guy, because most of the time you'll have that trainer that gets you the winner's circle the most times for the most money. I'm definitely not a handicapper. That's one thing I wish I was maybe a little better at. But without a doubt, I'm visualizing or trying to visualize what I think is going to happen, who's leaving, who's ducking. And most of the time, you're only partially right or mostly wrong. When they say go, you're a whole new strategy, and you got to be able to think on your toes. I definitely look at the tote board, and I take a lot of stock in it. There's, 1,000 people that are looking at the program page, and they might have saw something that I missed or whatever reason, and they're all trying to figure out who's going to win. So wherever the most money is, that's usually where the most live horses are. And if it's a horse that I didn't like on the program page, and all of a sudden he's 2 to 1 or 3 to 1, maybe I got to take him into account a little more than I thought. Driving in Chicago, Balmoral's a mile, Maywood's a half, so you got to stay on your toes because it's different during the week. But I think you definitely have to be more aggressive at Maywood, just because it's harder to pass 4 turns than 2. Balmoral, it seems like you can come from the clouds, come flying, and you can be a little more patient there. As far as which one is better, wherever the most live drives are at that night, that week, it's most fun to win at either place. So it's just a lot different, but at the same time, it's similar. You got to just get a good trip.